everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how growing some vegetables in buckets, specifically okra for this video. First, the main things you need is what? A bucket. Make sure that it's a bucket that is food safe, because you're going to be planting something you're eating. On this kind of bucket, when it says HDPE or I think it's HDPE 2, the number 2, that means it's food safe. But also want to pay attention to what was inside the bucket before you purchased it or you get it, because that's also important, because bucket draws in whatever it's inside, like chemicals, whatever. You don't want to use something that have chemicals to plant. Secondly, use branches at the bottom to save on soil. Third step is add your potting mix. Mix it up with worm casting or any other form of organic fertilizer you want to use. Mix it, and then mix it gently with slightly with water, just to give it a little bit of moist and for you to get the actual capacity or a full amount of soil that you need in the bucket. And then put in your seed, water it a little bit, and take it out in the sun, and that's it. This right here for okra, you want to have it in a 5-gallon bucket at least, and then drill about 6 to 9 holes. I already drilled a hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One in the center, right beside the hard part of it there, and then I did like 12, 3, 6, 9, and then just around that. So I'm gonna show you. I use this here, about ½ an inch of drill here, and I just press it downwards and pull it out. All right, so that's how I make the hole in the bucket. So the next thing you want to do with this process is make sure you have some sticks. Gather around sticks, go around the yard, get some sticks to fill the bucket, the bottom of the bucket. And the reason you're doing that is because you want to save on soil. Soil is expensive, right? So that's one way to save on soil. Gather some branches from your yardsticks and put it at the bottom of your bucket. Now, if you're wondering, the branches will eventually decompose and become, compost. If you remember, a part of I don't know, of course you guys may not remember, but part of composting is I'm using some browns, some greens. So here's the browns that we're using in this case right here. All right, so I'm gonna fill just the bottom layer with some branches. I got a lot of branches because I'm gonna be doing 2, but in this video I'm gonna be showing you one bucket. All right, so next, now that is done, as you guys can see, the next thing we're gonna do is mix our soil. I'm using the Kellogg's all natural raised bed and potting mix. Again, showing you this. Basically, you just want to cover the bottom layer. Next, again, the Garden Kellogg's organic all natural raised bed and potting mix. You want to make sure you use a potting mix because you're planting in a bucket. All right, so the different soils for different reasons. In this case, since you're planting in a bucket, we want it to be a potting mix. All right, and with this, we're going to mix in this with air foam casting, which I'm going to be showing you shortly. This bag's a little bit too heavy, so that's why I'm doing it like this. If it was a little bit lighter, I would just have carried it and poured it in. Let me see if I can carry it now. So I have poured some of it since the last time I used it. Okay, I think I can do it. Open it, please. Okay, I'm gonna pull it 3/4 way. In fact, I'm gonna do it all, pretty much. This time I'm gonna do it all the way. I'm gonna tell you why. Woo. Oh, almost all the way. You guys can see right here. Almost all the way full. Then I'm gonna add the worm casting. So this is our compost we're adding to this raised potting mix. And the reason we're adding compost is to add nutrients into the soil. Alright, worm casting is very rich in various nutrients that the plant needs, like nitrogen, stuff like that. And it's organic too. Alright, so now the reason I said I was going to fill it all the way, because I'm going to add some water for moisture to have it like moist before I put my seed, because my seed is already sprouted, so I want to make sure it has some moisture in this pot right here, at least the top layer. All right, and the other reason I do that is that once you put water, you're gonna see that the soil is gonna go all the way down. Because as I'm mixing it already, you can see that it's gone down. The level is not the same like it was before. I think the air is coming out or something like that. But once I put water, you guys are gonna see that you will see that you need more soil. It's probably not gonna go all the way to the bottom, obviously, but the fact that I'm mixing it will let me know at least to what extent I need to add more soil, because I want to provide the plant as much soil that it needs. And if you decide, okay, I don't want to grow okra in buckets, but I want to grow it in my raised bed, and you want to save space and maximize space, you can use the square foot gardening method, and that's essentially 1 okra seed per plant. In this case with the bucket, it's the same thing, in that it's going to be 1 okra seed per bucket. All right, now because this right here are just new sprouts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant 2, right? And then whichever one is not growing well, I would advise the person I'm making this for, because this is not for me, to eliminate the one that is not succeeding. All right, so I've gotten my soil a little moistened here. Here's what it looks like. It looks dark brown. See that? It's not soaking in water, and you can see the level has gone down, right? It's not the same as it was before. So that now I'm gonna add more of the potting mix and a little bit more. Let's see. I'm just gonna add the potting mix. The ratio of compost to the soil is described in the worm casting. By the way, I forgot to tell you, this one right here is earthworm casting plant food, organic. So it's all natural, organic, soil enricher earthworm casting plant food. This is right here. At some point, I'm thinking of making my own worm casting. So I don't have to buy these things. You know what I mean? Alright, let's try again. If I didn't put the wood at the bottom, I'll probably be needing more soil. So you guys get the gist of why I do that, right? Alrighty, so this is my first time officially planting in a bucket, by the way. And I just looked around, do some research, and yeah, I'm sharing with you guys. I'll keep you guys posted on how this one is doing. I'll ask the person to send me some videos, maybe 1 month into planting here and stuff like that. All right. You guys see the difference between the soil when it's moist and when it's not. Let me show you. Right here is the moist one. The dry one is right here. Hopefully you guys can see it's darker. So when it comes to wetting the plant, sometimes the top layer might look dry, but when you put your finger inside, you'll notice that it's still moist. And if it's still moist like that, then you don't need to water your plant. Okie dokie. Because you want to avoid overwatering. Okra needs full sun, so at least 8 hours of sun a day. That's how much okra needs. All right, I've played around enough. Now it's time to transplant it. Right here, to speed the germination process of the okra, I put it inside this container here, inside a paper towel, wet paper towel, covered it up, put it in the heat mat, as of in 2 days rather, it started sprouting, and day 3, 2 days, 90% of them sprouted, and day 3, how many? Okay, 99% sprouted. Only one did not sprout, guys. So it is sure to succeed, this process. If you're interested in getting faster germination rate for your plants, do this method here. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and plant. As I mentioned before, what did I mention before? I've forgotten. Okay, so for okra, you just put a hole here. Essentially, for most of my plant, I'm not gonna lie, I do this. I put my finger in like that to give me the hole, and then this top here, I have it facing upwards because that's how it grows when it's sprouting. Okay. And then in some videos, I saw this method from someone. In some video, she didn't cover it up with the soil, but in this case, I'm gonna cover it up with soil. I want to see just a little bit. I just covered just very tiny with soil. This other one I'm gonna do here, I'm not gonna cover it with soil. You don't go really deep, just like maybe like this with your finger, just really small like that. Like I mentioned, I'm using 2 just in case one doesn't do well. So just because it sprouted earlier on doesn't mean it might not die off. It may die off. So I'm making provision by adding another one. All right. All right. And there it is. All right, get in. Okay. Especially when you just started this whole if you started gardening late if you're late in the game in like putting your seeds in ground, I feel like this process is better. It's because it helps you start the germination process faster. Like the ones I left in ground to germinate by themselves without any manipulation from me. So that's pretty much it, guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or you have any addition, because my first time doing it, do share in the comment. Would love to hear from you. Bye.